Hello, hello, hello? You can hear us now. Wait, no. No, no one can hear you either. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Say things, say things. Why can nobody hear people? Oh, 1 second, I got the issue. They should hear you
Save
now.
me.
Whoa, whoa, now load
Somebody
up.
save me, please.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I think you should be able to hear all of us now, including Devin making bizarre sounds. I apologize for the slowness of whatever's going on here. Who is that? That was
That was me, Max.
That was
I'm
Meg.
sorry.
That was on Meg's side.
Happy for all of you who's joined us over
I
here
was pulling
today.
up chat.
This is the weekly live show. We're going to have a bunch of things going on, including we're going to be having our game show. We're going to be having our general games of the week. We're going to be talking about, I think it's the game show and the games of the week. Why? It's the topic of the week. Oh my gosh, I forgot we had a topic. Do you guys remember the topic?
No.
The ultimate game room. None of you prepped for this part, did you?
No, so when you said, do you remember the topic? This is nothing you've ever sent us.
Really?
I'm almost positive.
Really?
I do know
Because-
he sent it to us. I think
Son
I
of a
wasn't
gun.
concerned because I know a lot of answers.
Okay, well, I'm glad that we all prepped for this thing that I told you yesterday. Here's the stuff to prep for tomorrow. But I'm glad that we all
Well, that's what
focused
you
on...
get for giving us 24 hours notice.
It does say topic is must-have items for a game room.
It does say that. How weird. How weird.
I
Indeed.
focused on the larger paragraph that had to do with the game show.
Well, the game show
I
is
already
far
know,
more
though.
exciting,
I
let's
love
be
the game
honest.
room.
But with that said, so we have a bunch of these going on. We have a snap counter already starting with Devin. We have a bunch of audio stuff. Devin, what type of puppet was that? That was a chip. Well, I'm going to let Devin answer.
It's a pigadillo from Chip Theory. It's a pig armadillo. I think it is a Too Many Bones, like promo-ish animal.
Devin is not too quiet for real. There's no way. But I do trust Rub Mom, so I bumped you up 10%.
I
Okay.
do trust
10%. Oh, thanks so much.
Oh, can you please turn Devin up so he's equal volume as you and Meg? He's kind of quiet. That was...
Aw.
Okay. The volume thing is
Oh
weird.
god, not the volume thing again.
We're going to go ahead and dive into this. Starting off as usual, the weekly live, we are starting off with our game of the week, and I believe, who wants to go first this week? All the volunteers. Devin's got food in his mouth. Meg, I believe we're going to be having you go first on your game of the week, which is...
Twilight Inscription.
Oh, I'm so bummed we did not get to play this when I was up there. I read the rules. I was so excited. I was so excited.
Do you own a
Devin.
copy, Devin?
We have to play.
No, I don't own a copy.
Are you coming back in February?
Yes.
Will we play it then?
I don't know. That's what we thought in January.
I was hoping you'd say yes, and I'd be like, actually, probably not, let's be honest. We have a fun list of things planned for our February trip, including more Marvel United, because of course more Marvel United.
That was fun.
Uh,
That was fun.
yeah, so I got to play this with my friend Alicia. And she enjoys board games a lot, definitely has a few, or like I shouldn't. Anyway, she hasn't played a ton of games, and especially something like a roll and write. And I threw her into this, and it was so much fun, and she picked it up right away, even though it is a lot going on. As I was teaching it and going through, like, each sheet, I felt like I was saying so much information, that I kept being like, but it's not that bad, it'll make sense, it'll all start chaining, don't worry. And she picked it up and had a really fun time with it. She went heavy into the production one, I think, the one
Yeah.
where you
Ooh.
scrap.
Oh, I love the
Circle?
production one. I love it.
She
Of
went
course you
nuts with
do.
it. It was very, very cool. So yeah, I really enjoy this game. I've had a great time every time I play. Yeah.
So fun fact
Man.
about it, speaking of production, I gave Twilight Inscription fairly high marks, and the more I played it, the more I'm like, I think it goes down half a point for me. I still really like it, but the problem I had with it is that I am pretty sure, and I have yet to be proven wrong, and though I keep trying, if I go heavy production, I win. If I go exclusively into production and just get my production engine up and running, I win. And I've yet to see that I have yet to see that not happen. Obviously, if someone else is doing the same thing, it's a different conversation. But that's been my potential thing. I think production is game breaking, and I am curious to see if I'm wrong. But so far I'm not. Which I both like this, and it is overwhelming. I mean, 4 giant sheets to go through. It's very simple. It chains very nicely. It's very elegant, but it is a lot of information.
Well, and if you think like thematically, like what that's making me think right away is like if you are doing, like if you actually are in space.
Yeah.
And you're trying to explore and navigate and do war stuff and do discovery stuff, what you produce matters the most, that you should
Yep.
be doing. I never thought of it like that, but that actually makes sense, that to do all of those things better,
Oh,
you would be
I
producing
can't
more.
wait until we play a real Twilight Imperium game. And Alex is like, if I just produce, I think I'm gonna win, and then just get savaged.
So when there's real
Cannot
war,
wait.
I've played other games that have that balance. So for instance, Through the Ages, a game that I know Devin loves, Through the Ages has that aspect that if you focus exclusively on your production and your economy, you will get savaged by other players. And so I think it's important that games have that dynamic. I think because Twilight Inscription is a bit more abstracted, the limit of how badly you can be savaged by not focusing on military at all is just less so. And so because of that, I just find that there's a cap to how badly you can be savaged, and you can afford to leave it till later in the game and just make sure you have this. The benefit of having like just a ton of just free wilds on your turn is just too much.
Yeah, yeah.
But again, keep in mind, I still own it, still in my collection, still really enjoy it, still not going anywhere. It does have that minor concern.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Which brings me, I believe, to my game of the week.
When you play a game solo, do you still actually count it as like you win? Like I just feel like that's
Have I
unfair
played Twilight
to-
Inscription solo? I don't think I've played it solo, but I do count it as a win if I play it solo. Absolutely. If I win, not if I don't win. To be
I've
clear.
never tried that one solo.
You've played a 2-player, right?
Yeah.
So the 2-player is not that
three.
different from... Yeah, so the reason I brought up
I
2
see.
is because 2 has a bit of an autonoma to a degree, and the solo just leans a bit more heavily into that autonoma a bit more. But past that, the game should work in theory. It's just... I find certain games I love solo.
Try it.
I don't think this is much my jam. I say it makes sense.
You
Try it.
like it?
Well, I should try it once just to know. It sounds like something I would at least be able to like go through if that's the only real rule changes.
Yeah. With that said, my game of the week is another very purpley cover, this time named Lockup by Stan Kodonsky from Thunderworks Games. And
I want to
Lockup,
play this one.
are there any games you don't want to play?
Through the Ages.
Twilight Struggle, Through the Ages.
Twilight Struggle. Oh. I guess we have the same 3 or 4 in mind.
Yeah, Lockup is one that I actually was more impressed than I thought I would be. Lockup is so here's
Do
the
you
problem.
have Goblin Vaults?
I do not.
I do.
Meg
I
does.
have Goblin Vaults. Do you want me to bring it?
I would love for you to bring it.
That was not the face of that was the face of how do you
I want a Goblin Vaults is one that It's interesting because
It's trick taking. It's trick taking.
but when I first saw Goblin Vaults, I got the impression that it was a lighter game, like very much a lighter experience. And as I've seen the feedback come out on it, it seems to be that there's a lot of meat to the actual what's happening in the game, and that compels me a lot. But
Yeah.
that said,
it seems super cool.
Lockup itself, Lockup is one that I read the rules for it multiple times. This is the third time me reading the rulebook and finally diving into it. The first times I read the rules, and it just didn't seem that interesting. The general premise of it is you're placing your crew down into different areas of a prison. And you're doing so either face up or face down, although you're limited to 2 face down placements. So there's a degree of mental mind like messing with each other, and there's a degree of doing it face up and intimidating each other. And you're trying to get control over those various areas. That part all sounds compelling. The part that never really worked for me in principle, not in actuality, in theory, was the fact that you're fighting over like 1 or 2 cubes in each vault. It's like, hey, if you have the most strength here, you get 2 cubes, and if you don't have the most strength, you get 1 cube, and that just doesn't seem drastically compelling for me to care that much about that small difference. Although in practice, it actually does matter a lot. In practice, every single area you're fighting over, whether you're adding more thugs to your crew, whether you're buying items, or whether you're getting those cubes you need for your economy, it all works really well, giving you a good sense of messing with each other, a good sense of set collection as you try to gather things. I really enjoy my play of it. I'm only 1 play in so far, and I do plan on playing it more. Right now it falls in the category of pleasantly surprised. Don't yet know if it's a keeper long term or not, but I also have the expansion, and the expansion might push it one way or the other for me as far as where it ends up. But I really enjoyed this one. This is I generally like Stan Kodonsky a lot, and Lockup is one that I was pleasantly surprised by because I was not expecting to like it.
Nice. No, yeah, I definitely want to try it. I'm excited for pretty much everything that I've got at my house in terms of Thunderworks. I've got so I just recently got a package from Kirk. So I have Role Player Adventures, which I want to start with Amber, and then I have Role Player because I wanted to see what the original was. And then I have Cartographers, which, I always enjoy doing that and seeing you guys play that. And then I have Goblin Vaults. And,
Yep.
just like really, really like trick-taking games. Super excited to see that. But Lockup is the one that I've also been interested in. And I think the three of us were going to try and get that, but just mine and Meg's time had such a very short window of overlap the last time in January. So
Well, fun fact, Lockup is on Tabletopia if we actually want to do a reel after this. Just saying.
Ooh.
Just saying. It's on Tabletopia.
I like
What was that, Meg?
again, we have a list
I
of
like
how many games we
Tabletopia.
didn't play with Devin.
Yes.
That is a big
So, and I
list.
believe, because you brought up Role Player Adventures, Devin, Alex, this takes place. This location is a location that we played in Role Player Adventures.
Yes, which I think is called Nalos, I believe. I think it's called Nalos.
Yeah, Lockup and Goblin Vaults
Wait,
are both
what was
within
their-
the world of role player.
What was their newest one that was on Kickstarter?
Gold packs.
No,
That's a secret.
the other one. They had another one on
Oh,
Kickstarter.
Eulos.
Eulos. Oh, Dawn of Eulos. Maybe it's Eulos is the place.
Yes.
Mm,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's why I was so confused. I was
Gotcha.
trying to think. But
Is
yeah,
there a Nalos
Eulos-
though? I think there's a Nalos.
I think that might be a person.
It might be a kingdom. I don't know. I'm not sure. If someone in chat knows the difference between Eulos, Nalos, Lockup, and all of that stuff, let us know, because they're building an interesting world, and Goblin Vaults takes place in the same world. I think most of their games do. Cape May does not. Tenpenny Parks does not. But I think the vast majority of Thunderworks' primary games take place up in the Lockup universe, in the role player universe, I should say. And
Nice.
Devin, that brings us
So-
to you.
Alex.
Devin does look so bored.
I'm
Devin's
not
literally
bored.
Devin's
I'm
like,
not bored.
just you know, just.
I'm a fidgeter. I'm not bored. I just fidget, and I just happen to have mistakenly brought this thing next to me.
Fun fact: I have a friend who's
So-
apparently watching the stream, or was watching the stream, because he's like, "Nice cape." So one of my friends just happened to pop in.
Cape. Cape.
Yeah.
Nice cape. Okay, my game is.
Devin. Okay. Before you start, you are right, Alex. They have a wiki, and Nalos is a kingdom.
So what is
Yep.
Eulos?
Yep.
Maybe the whole world.
So Eulos. might be the
Literally
whole world.
any other week, any other.
Okay,
game.
go, Devin.
Wait, no,
Go, go,
Meg.
Yeah,
How did
yeah.
Meg? What's the URL for that wiki?
Worldofeulos.com.
World of Eulos. Okay, can you send me a link at some point? Just I want to take a look at it.
Sure.
Okay, cool.
You want me to send it on Discord or WhatsApp?
Discord, WhatsApp. Honestly, I'm not really happy with Discord or WhatsApp. Is there a better communication method we could have? Like maybe
Oh, I
text,
can't.
Messenger.
I'm so tired.
Okay, moving on to Devin's game and the running joke right now.
Like legit, that was starting to burn my right forearm. Like,
I would have kept going.
so this is my game. I love Everdell. I have it on my phone and I play on there. I enjoy that a lot. And then I've played both the Spirecrest and Pearlbrook expansions. I like those a lot. Out of the two, Spirecrest is my favorite because I think it adds a little bit more like world building and stuff like that. And really do enjoy it. I have since gifted away, because I knew this was coming, I was like, I've given away some expansions or traded some expansions to people who were interested in them, and I just gave away the base game once this came in because I wanted to wait until this came in. So now I have everything, and I'm excited to check out the New Leaf and Mistwood. Belfair, I know that a lot of people like it because of modularity. I don't know. I feel like when I add an expansion to a game that I really want it to have some kind of thematic connection to itself, like have some sense of connected purpose, but Belfair is just kind of like a bunch of modular add-ons, so I'm not as huge a fan of that. But guys,
They're giving you the same hard time I gave you. Devin's like, here's my game of the week, and he holds it up. I'm like, the game of the week is a game that's not open yet.
So if you see over there, there's Endless Winter, and on that shelf was Everdell, and back when I had the other expansions, they were all over there. I've played this game a bunch of times, just because the complete collection hasn't been open. You know what?
Mhm.
I'm just gonna go back to playing with the pig. I'm just gonna go back to playing with the pig.
I'm just gonna let you do your thing.
Just gonna let you do your thing.
I appreciate. Srebmy wants to know how much for a private unboxing, which
Ooh.
yeah.
Ooh. If you want a private unboxing dance, we got to go to a back room for that kind of thing. And I got to show you all the components, but it has to be supervised. So,
Uh-huh. Robert,
can
I'm
look,
surprised.
not touch.
I'm surprised that the stuffed animal isn't in shrink.
Here, wait. Woo!
Devin, unbelievable.
I love you,
Anyways,
Robert.
but past that, anything else about Everdell you want to talk about?
That
Because I
was
can talk
funny.
about Everdell.
That was funny.
I can get my copy. It's not in shrink.
Oh, I can get my copy. It's not in shrink. Yeah, it's to put your boyfriend away.
Can you guys riff for a second? I just got a knock on the door. So if the two of you could riff for 1 second, I'll be right back.
Yeah, no worries.
Is this a gimmick?
I don't know. I'm assuming it's a gimmick. He had like a weird like glint to his eye.
Yeah,
I'm
I feel
assuming
like
it's a
the way
gimmick.
he said that,
How
it
much
was
for
a
a bottle
lie.
of Shane? Bottle service. So
No gimmick, just FedEx knocking and dropping off a package.
Oh,
Oh.
Interesting.
Is it your
totally
copy of
thought-
Everdell?
I wouldn't know. I didn't open the package because you guys are all waiting. Anyways, with that said, Everdell's a great game. I like it a lot. I haven't played the digital version of it yet. I'd love to at some point, but for right now, it's a game.
It's super quick. It plays really well.
But you like Root Digital, and I didn't love that.
I would say that Root is definitely a game that would like strategically suffer from it being digital more than Everdell. Everdell, like the structure, like it is competitive, but it's also not as like it's not a game where you need to really know the state of multiple clearings and know like control and stuff like that. Like Root automates stuff for you, but it doesn't necessarily like tell you things that you do need to know to not like in Root you're like, oh, I need to go to this clearing, but this clearing's in the way.
Okay.
And then you're like, I'm going to move to this clearing. And then you could go there, but if you haven't zoomed in and looked at that clearing, you might not realize that as soon as you move in, you don't have control of that clearing. And now your people are stranded.
Oh my
and
God.
it doesn't have an undo button.
You're gonna be
you just-
flashbacks to last night playing through Gloomhaven when I meant to discard a card before dying, and instead I accidentally hit take damage, and the end of an hour-long scenario that we might have won because it was very close, we proceeded to not because of a misclick on a digital implementation.
Yeah. So
It hurts
that's where Root was rough. I mean, I've been playing with some of the camp co-op crew, Gloomhaven, and the 2 times we've reset has not been because we're like, oh, we messed that up. Like let's redo this. It's been 2 times where one of us has accidentally clicked the wrong part of a card, and had to reset the turn or whatever.
Well, should
Um,
we
so
say the turn I can
Trash
deal with?
sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, no, it's definitely Robert. Robert is just like flaming me right now. No, so I think Root Digital is fantastic for learning the game. I think the tutorials are good. I think it's a good way to make sure that you can get a 4-player game played. But it's definitely, you have to be paying attention. And Everdell is just not that, like, the worst thing you might do in Everdell is, again, it doesn't have an undo button. So you might just accidentally click something. But if you're on a tablet over a phone, that's much less a problem because the screen isn't so compressed. No, I've played a lot of games of Everdell on the phone. It's fun.
Gotcha. Well, with that,
I mean, to be fair, I've never played Everdell. It's still in shrink, but
with that, do we want to move on to our weekly game show?
I love you, Robert. Yeah, I'm happy to do this.
So,
Wow.
fun fact, before we move to the weekly game show, just a note, the topic of the week will be covered at the end of the weekly game show, because the weekly game show may go on for longer than we otherwise expect, but the topic of the week will be, what things do we want in the Ultimate Game Room? We'll be coming back to that in probably around 30 to 40 minutes, so stick around as we watch Devin and Meg get really frustrated with my rules, decisions, and what I generally did across the course of this game show. As usual, your weekly reminder that the two of
I've
you
never
are
gotten
welcome.
upset at you. I've never gotten upset with you. I've just laughed the whole time.
The two of you
it's
are
really more
welcome.
me laughing between you and Meg.
Welcome to craft your own game shows, and I'm happy to be a participant because I love game shows, but board games, everything else not so much.
Are we supposed to know that says through the ages?
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Through the Ages, fun fact, the reason I picked this as the placeholder before we start the game show is this was one of the little thumbnail clips I put into the thumbnail of this show. But the game show this week is effectively buzzing in to select which game you think the small cropped out picture is from. I'm going to be showing our contestants, Meg and Devin, pictures from games that are zoomed in versions of a game. Now, before running into this game show, I gave them some samples of what I was doing to see if they thought I was crazy or if they were able to do it, and they were able to do it, which across the course of these next 20 games...
I couldn't remember what Through the Ages was. I couldn't remember what that guy's face was from. I couldn't place it.
So
I've never...
You never did this game? Yes. Well, so this
I mean,
is the thing.
I've heard of it. But...
So a few things going on here. One is across the course of
Don't
these
worry,
20
he'll
games...
do Marvel Champions at some point.
Some of these games will be too easy. Some of these games will be too hard. That's okay. It is what it is. These people are not getting... Devin and Meg are not getting questions to them. They're getting questions to the general buzzing in. So we do have that going on. Secondly, I will say that, as usual, I did try to pick games with a general awareness of the types of things you both know. I might pick a game one of you have never seen. It is what it is. I cannot perfectly know your knowledge, so I'm just doing the best I can with what I can work with, and I'm trying to find games that have some degree of you recognizing it. We're still in the easy weeks. Weeks will get harder as I run out of questions. And then,
weeks? Do you remember last week? You nut.
So, Srebme, a shout out to Srebme before we begin.
that's going to go into this part, yes. But before we
Yes.
Srebmom sent us these awesome buzzers, and I love them. Mine says boing, boing. And Meg has her own, and we have, everybody has one.
Meg,
the only issue...
Hers you can hear a little better.
Hers you can hear, I think, better than mine, but the issue is more so like the way that the whole thing takes in audio, that these are not as identifiable as they do actually sound, like in terms of like on Alex's side, and overall, they're not as...
Every time I hear
for him to identify. So I love these, but we probably won't be using them for the sake of Alex being able to delineate who's doing what.
And keep in mind, we do in-person shows as well, so they may still get a purpose, but this is not...
Just gonna say that.
Go ahead, pretend I didn't say it. Rewind 2 minutes, rewind.
And we could always use this for a game that we film in person together.
That's a great point, Meg. Thank you. Thank you.
Dude,
also,
what if we did these in person?
Good... No, she just said that, Devin.
Oh, I'm an idiot.
Successful Geek, welcome. Thanks for joining as a BGC member, and also that joined us from Meg and Devin, apparently. He said so specifically.
Thanks, Successful.
I love, the
running joke.
It's absolute trashing Alex.
So, as far as the rules of the game show, we will unfortunately not be using the buzzers because of the aforementioned tech difficulties. We will be using the same buzz from last week. Also, there was a debate at one point last week as to who said buzz first, and if you look at the video, Meg clearly said buzz first. It's not even a question. This is a Han shot first moment, and we know Meg shot first. But that said, the rules are the same as last week as far as the points. The person who buzzes in first has the opportunity to make a guess first, but if they get their guess right, it's only 2 points. The person who goes second gets 3 points, and that is not rewarding you for being slower. It's punishing the person for buzzing in when they were wrong. That's effectively what's happening over here. So,
just a small note, Alex. This has nothing to do with the actual game. It's just something I thought that you think would be cool that I found online. That I use now, and that's where I keep my cards, my micro SD and my main cards.
I like that. Can you send me a link? Because I have this, which is nice and functions great.
Yeah.
A quick gift from Jesse, actually. But this one is nice, does the job, but it's a little less sleek than that sexy thing you're holding.
That is cool.
It's got like 3 SD and then 2 micro and then a SIM card if you need it.
And whose is that?
It's mine. I bought it for myself.
So my bad. I just assumed it wasn't yours because it's non-shrink. Anyways.
I have rules questions before we start.
Questions. Hit me.
Should we be watching YouTube and the zoomed in thing will be on showing for everybody, or are you gonna share something to us?
No, if you're watching. That's a great question.
Like Meg and I have 2 screens. Question. We've got Discord open, and how are you showing it to us?
That's a great question. I didn't think of that. So that's a great question. We have 2 options.
It's already started.
Option one.
What were you gonna do?
I didn't. This is the first time I'm doing a picture-based one. I forgot that again since you had to see it at the time. So here's what we do. Do you both have your Skypes open?
Robert said the game style is still in shrink.
Why can't you share it on Discord?
Because if I share it on Discord, it'll mess up the orientation of all the windows.
Oh, okay.
But if you both have Skype, Devin, do you have Skype by any chance?
Yeah.
Okay, because if you both have Skype, we can share my screen on Skype.
That
Well,
this
why
is
don't
hilarious.
you could just show to the people the zoomed in picture?
I
but
could,
then we'd
then
be
they
looking
could-
right next to where the chat.
but then there's
is.
on a slight delay in the whole thing. It's going to
Okay.
add a delay to everything. I think Skype makes the most sense. It'll take a 2-second delay. Maybe learn something new for the future. It's all good.
Did you guys
What
see
should
what
I do?
Adam said?
What did Adam say? What did Adam say? What did Adam say?
Here is how the game works. Alex shows the answer, and whoever is first wins.
That would work.
So
Devin, what's your name on Skype? Devin Norris?
nice. I think it's probably Devin L. Norris or Devin Norris.
There's-
Let me see.
There's
what
three
it
Devin
officially
Norrises,
says.
and 2 of them are women, apparently.
This is so
Oh,
funny.
well then maybe I'm the other one.
I'm guessing.
It's probably the one with my face, but the account is Devin L. Norris at Outlook.com.
Oh, Devin L. Norris?
Yep. At Outlook.com.
Oh, this is funny.
Devin
my
L.
God.
Norris at Outlook.com. Oh, I think I got it. Second.
Man,
Outlook.
You're gonna get so
this
many
is-
people calling you on Skype now.
Yep.
Okay.
I knew that I was doxing myself, but you know, Alex has failed so miserably. That
I did
was
not
like,
think of that situation. I'm going to add a participant over here.
Okay. Taking a. So, all right.
Give me 1 second.
So-
Adding Meg to
Success.
Skype.
I'm muting
I'll show you,
myself on Skype.
this is the rest of it.
hilarious. This is hilarious.
It's like old school. It's one of the old covers.
I accept.
Wait, what's happening here?
You ended it.
I don't know what happened. We're going to go ahead and start the call. Okay, start call with no audio
Join
or...
call. No audio. Join call.
Okay, both of you are there?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sharing my screen. You should be able to see this particular screen. I think this is the right one. Window, yep. Okay,
This
You can
is
see.
amazing.
you can see, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I can currently see the full picture of Through the Ages.
That's all you need to see. Excellent.
Okay.
And now,
Okay.
now that we have figured out exactly how to do all this, are we ready?
1 sec. Let me see if I can. I want to try to. I can't minimize this without. I want to be able to see your guys' faces.
up to you how you
Whatever. I'll
manage
just
that.
keep. No, I'll keep it right in front of me.
Are we ready? Because we're going to start with
No,
the
hold
first
on
one.
too. I'm moving a thing. One
Take your time.
second.
Arrange your
I'm keeping it
windows.
in front of me. I'm,
I'm
just
ready.
not looking at Alex, unfortunately.
Or fortunately. And now, in 3,
Unfortunately.
2, 1,
Buzz.
go ahead.
That one is Robinson Crusoe.
You
No,
are
no, no, no,
indeed
no.
correct.
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I
2
got
points for
nervous
Devin.
because I was thinking of that other one that just recently came out.
I don't know that one. Oh, the one with the fans and the island, like the one we
Yep,
talked about
yep,
and things.
yep.
So as I was going through this, I did realize certain artists have certain styles, and Vincent Trade in particular has a very particular
Yep.
style that could work on 17 games,
Yep.
and that is what it is. The risk is there. But moving on to game number 2 with 2 points in Devin's camp, we have.
Buzz.
Go ahead.
Teotihuacan. Or no, Sulkin. Sorry.
Ooh, I almost dinged you the points. It is indeed Sulkin the Mayan calendar.
I
Heading
get
to
the names mixed up.
4
with the T
points for
games.
Devin. 4 points for Devin. But in 5, 4.
We can see it. Al.
Wait.
Oh.
Yeah, we can. There's a little
Whoops,
thing
whoops,
up there.
whoops. Good to know. Good to know.
So exit out of the.
Yep,
that
I gotcha,
one's-
I gotcha.
that one's- Yeah, just
Yeah.
don't do that one.
Well, we're gonna do that one anyway.
Just go to it now because we saw it.
Yep.
Buzz
Go ahead.
on Mars.
It is indeed correct. Mega's not liking this game. She's like, I was fine with it yesterday when you picked the games I knew, Alex. You own this game,
Yeah,
to be
and
fair.
I did figure this was on Mars, but either way, I'm not confident about any of these yet.
Okay, we do indeed have on Mars so far. And fun fact, I made sure that little preview thing doesn't show on the video showing to all of them. I didn't think about you. Okay, we're currently at 6 points for Devin.
Yeah.
Can you do a? Could you possibly do a screen share where you adjust it to where we can't see you going between tabs?
No, I'm just going to be more mindful and just not hover over it waiting.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. With that said, moving on to the next one, we have...
Buzz.
Ooh, I think Devin buzzed first.
I think I did technically, but
do
that
we have- do
maybe
we want audience
I heard
voting?
myself in the audio.
Do we want the audience voting on this one? Yeah, I think George...
Okay, they said
it was,
Devin.
It was close. Oh, wait, no. We got
You
2
guys
for
can go
Meg.
back, play
We
it
got-
back.
I'm going to hold off on this. We got... Okay,
Man,
tied.
I thought it was me.
I thought it was you too, but it was close enough that I'm fine being wrong. It was 2. We need a tiebreaker. We got another... Oh, we got another Meg. Nope, got another Devin.
Oh.
Okay, Devin, we
This
got
is just
4.
gonna be a-
5. It's still tied right now. It's currently tied. Now it's one more to Meg. One more to Meg. Meg. Okay, we're giving it to Meg. Oh my gosh! Wow.
All right. Okay.
Henry's
Henry
betraying you.
says Meg.
Henry says Meg. It's Meg.
Hey, how's it going?
Okay, let's go for it, Meg.
I don't know. There's a lot of Devons though. I guess it was.
No,
it must have been
I
the
counted
same.
them back and forth, and eventually got like 4 Megs in a row, and then you just took the lead. You're currently ahead.
Take it,
You know,
Meg.
it would be
Take it.
amazing if I got this wrong.
It would be amazing. What is it, Meg?
It's Journeys in Middle Earth.
Yes, it is.
Journeys in
It
the
is
Middle Earth,
indeed
yeah.
Journeys.
It's
of Middle-earth.
Chime.
The Lord of the Rings,
Chime.
Journeys in Middle Earth.
Jimmy. So we got 6-2. Kevin says he listened back, but it's too late now, Kevin. But anyways, we'll go back
Devin
to the next
raised his
one.
hand first.
Devin raised his hand first.
Going
Frame by
frame
frame,
by
Devin
frame.
opened his mouth first. That actually doesn't matter if the sound didn't leave your mouth, just for the record.
To be fair,
Anyways.
that goes against what you said when I said last week that I finished it first.
Anyways, moving on to the next one, we have...
Buzz.
Oh, she definitely did first.
I couldn't say Buzz right.
Friday.
It
Yeah,
is indeed Friday. Also, this game is
Friday.
too easy. Too easy. I thought it was going to be too hard. This is too easy.
The
for
Devin's
game
us.
mouth
is the
opens
buzz.
first
That's
a
the
lot,
game.
though.
We need you pausing. We need
How's
you
it going,
pausing.
Aaron?
Okay, it's currently 6-4. Meg's back in the game. Moving on to the next one. Meg, you paying attention?
I'm ready.
6-4, and...
Buzz.
Go ahead.
Nemesis.
It is indeed Nemesis. Back to 8-4. 8-4. There's no second place points in this game. Everyone's getting it right. Moving on to the next one we have...
Buzz. Flamecraft.
She knew this one too. 10-4. 10-4. Moving on to the next one is...
Buzz.
Buzz.
Plank.
Oh my gosh, I would never have gotten that one. Okay, is it 12-4 at this point? This is going to be a quick game show.
Probably.
12-4. Moving on, we have...
Buzz.
Ooh, I need chat on this one. I don't know. I need chat. Who went first there? That was so simultaneous.
I-
Devin, 2 Devins. Meg, we got another Meg. This one I think Devin's first. We got 3-2, 3-3, 4-3 Meg, 5-3 Meg, 6-3 Meg. Okay, Devin 6-4, 7-4. I think we're gonna go to Meg at this point again. Meg, what is it?
Jaws of the Lion.
Jaws of the
Yeah,
Lion.
Jaws
Boom.
of the Lion,
Indeed. Moving on to the next one. Both ready?
Yes.
Buzz.
Go ahead.
Western Legends.
Indeed, you are correct. Okay, that bets up to 14-6. I think we're at to. I think, possibly. Moving on to the next one, we have.
Buzz.
Go ahead.
Raiders of the North Sea.
You are indeed correct. Moving on to the next one, we have.
Buzz. Sleeping Gods.
You are indeed correct. This is a quick game show. I apologize, everyone. This is much faster than I thought it was going to be. But moving on to the next one, we have.
Buzz. ISS Vanguard.
I clicked to it faster than you
I
said
knew,
it.
I knew what it
Yeah.
was.
I was like, I just want to moving through the tabs as quick as possible. Moving on to the next one, we have.
Buzz. Quacks of Quedlinburg.
Jeez, Devin.
Yeah.
Jeez. And on to.
Buzz.
Buzz.
Obsession.
The pictures are getting much smaller next week, for the record. Moving on, we have.
Buzz. Blender.
You are indeed on fire today, and. moving.
Buzz. Lost Ruins of Arnak.
Wow. I thought these were hard.
Really?
Some of them, not all of them. I thought they were like again. I get flack for being too difficult. We got a few more left to go, by the way. Let's go through a few more, and then we'll have just a conversation about how fast this game show was. Moving on to. Yes. Finally, one that they don't know right away.
Buzz.
Go ahead.
Is it Mechs versus Minions?
No, but good choice in the art style. Meg, this is your choice to steal. Get a first 3-pointer.
This looks like another Clank-esque art to me.
It does. It does look like that. That's not a hint. That's me confirming. Get ready about how it looks.
I don't know.
I don't think about it.
Chat, hit us with your best shot. Chat knows. We got a bunch of people in chat who know it. Indeed, it is Gizmos.
I've never heard of this game.
Never heard of it.
Oh, fun. I tried picking games that are decently well known, but either way, I'm fine with one game that you guys didn't know. Moving on, we're gonna go to and Jenna from Board Game Garden got it. She knew it. We're moving on to
Nice.
this. I was proud of this one.
Interesting.
I was so proud of this
Buzz. Buzz. Oh, that's code names.
That is indeed a zoomed-in shot of the between their bodies. Going back and forth in that
Go
one.
back.
Yep.
That's the space
The
between their
separate
bodies.
Yeah.
With like their shirt and tuxedo.
Go to the cover again. I feel like that's more spaced out.
It's a screenshot from the exact same photo, so the answer's gonna be no on that.
Weird.
Yeah, everything, all these photos were screenshots taken of the zoomed in photos, so there's no room for error on this one. Yeah, I was proud of that shot.
Well,
'Cause
yeah, I believe you.
I saw Codenames and I was like, that's a stupid one. The other one will get it in 2 seconds. Like, what if I'm super clever? And I'm super clever.
What if I'm super clever?
Last one. The last one is going to be...
Buzz, Dwellings of Eldervale.
Jeez, you know your covers, man. That, I believe, is what we can safely call a landslide as far as, wow. It's successful. Too bad Alex couldn't be clever on the other ones. So, here's the problem. I spent the past 2 weeks of game shows, or 3 weeks of game shows, basically getting flack for how hard my questions were. So I was like, I need to pick a question that, like, it's a perfect amount of hard. Like, so, like, you know, even Nemesis. I remember Nemesis. I was like, where's Nemesis over here? We got Nemesis. So I was like, this
That's
isn't the
Stupid
alien.
Gods.
This is the alien over here. So, like, if it's the alien, maybe it's a little bit too hard. Sorry, it's not the alien. But I was like, Devin got it, like, in a second. And then we had Friday. I was pretty impressed with Friday. I was like, okay, good. Not that well-known title, but I know both Devin and Meg know it. I alternated between titles that are generally well-known and titles that I know both of them know. That was my goal for
Gizmos
this.
was the one that I just had absolutely no clue on. I would never have gotten that one.
So that was a incredibly fast contest over there. Next week, the questions are going to be harder, and or someone else is going to finally take the reins and take over the game show. But wow, I want to get, I want to do this again with harder things. Although, wow. Okay, Frederick, where was this cleverness when someone forgot the buzzes again? James, smaller parts of the arch. So buzzers. So we talked about the buzzers. The buzzers, unfortunately, don't sound. They're not as good for like the buzz noise on a moving stream. But with that said, now that we've spent about all of like 8 minutes in technical difficulties and then 4 minutes in the game show, we can go ahead and move to the actual topic of the week, which is things you want for the ultimate game room. As usual, this is brought to you by the Patreon community. They vote on they not only vote, they suggest the topics, and then they vote on the topics, and then every month we go over the topics that were voted as being the most interesting topics.
Muzinski has a really good idea.
Which is
take a picture of game components.
So, fun fact, that was my original idea, but I was like, the show's tomorrow, let's start with game art on the boxes. But game components was definitely on my list of things to do. Yeah. But the problem is that they're not as easy to find ones that I want online. It's possible, I guess. I could probably go through things and find them. But I was going to just take photos myself of game components and then put them on the table and be like, ha! And I could pick games that I know you've all played. And we'll do that way, possibly. But in the meantime, we'll go ahead and start with the topic of the week, which is things for the ultimate gaming room. This is a Patreon-suggested topic, and I never really thought about this that heavily, but I did put thought into it for the sake of this conversation, because it makes sense to have a conversation around things you actually think about. But I'm going to start off with one that I think is a expensive one, but there are ways around having it a little less expensive. But that's basically having a game table. Yep. I think that a game table is, I mean, having a surface to play games is essential, obviously. That's not really the question. But I think having a game table really enhances strongly, Board Game Garden, we're going to get there, don't worry about that. But the game table, I think, strongly enhances the playing experience. And it doesn't need to be a $50,000 game table or a $5,000 game table, because $50,000 game tables are weird. But even as simple as having a the game topper, or any type of surface that is more than just a plain table. Having something decent that really enhances the surface experience. And even if you really want to go really lo-fi, you could even get a game mat. Board game tables are now known as All Play. They sell great board game mats that I use when I don't have a table properly set up, and I do find they enhance the experience. Having a neoprene surface when you pick up a component, there's a little bit of a give, as opposed to like a hard surface or a tablecloth which will move around. There's a lot of opportunities as far as what you can do, but enhancing the playing surface is the first thing that I decided to go with this particular week.
Yeah, no, I mean that would have been front and center on mine. If I had my way, it would be like an absolute. It would be like a prophecy table from Wormwood. If I had, if I could mortgage a second house somehow, and then my other option that if I couldn't do like Wormwood, my option would be doing Rathskellers. I think that they're like the best quality underneath or alongside Wormwood, but their price is quite a substantial difference. So yeah, no, board game table for me is a no-brainer. I don't have one. I think you have 500% more than me. But I definitely I definitely want to get one.
Frederick's pointing out that the first thing you need in an Ultimate Game room is an actual room, which is not an incorrect
That is
assumption.
fair.
I kind of
That is
That's
fair.
fair. I don't have that yet, so got to work on that.
So Shiny, the grippy neophene mats, that's what like All Play sells. Like I have one from those and they work well. I actually have two. I have one from All Play and one from there's a recent campaign from I can't remember the name of the company, but a recent campaign
Game
on
Choppers?
there's a campaign on GameFound that does a bunch of Gloomhaven mats and Frosthaven mats, and they did a bunch of bags and just play mats in general. That I have one of those too, and I also like it. Yeah. Anyways, that's my first thing. Meg.
Yeah, I love my wormwood. I love it. It's very, very nice. Definitely.
I jelly of both of you.
It makes you want to play. So since we totally planned our lists absolutely completely this week,
Of
for
course.
sure.
Oh, I have a lot of answers.
I didn't do like hard structure, but I have things that I do that I love in my room and then things I would add to my room. But one of them is a TV, which is not for everyone.
Ooh.
Not a lot of people are not, I shouldn't say that. Not some people can't handle like having a TV on and playing stuff. That happens with Alex and I, that there are some games where I want to play like a movie or something and he's like, I can't. But I love playing things in the background. My favorite pairing is Gallivant with Gloomhaven. It is so fun to have that like Cillian going on in the background and playing, because I'll rewatch the season. So yeah, I love having a TV.
Oh,
And then
Jenna.
even being able
Jenna,
to cast
music theme.
YouTube to it, play music. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, even if you don't use it to cast stuff to it, Meg, simply playing music is one that is like just putting Spotify on there or something. Just kind of having, even if it's just like ambient background music for like like if you're playing Mansions of Madness or Arkham Horror and you have some like moody, spooky sound on it and stuff. I think that would be a lot of fun. But for sure, I didn't think about a TV, but as soon as you said that, that's such a no-brainer as well.
I love mine.
Board Game Garden mentions that they put the Fireplace channel on. That I could probably deal with. That I would
I've
like.
done that with the Frozen. There's a Frozen version on Netflix. It's
Interesting.
Arendelle.
So stuff like that I'm totally down for. Because I have on my list is ambiance, not really specifically that aspect, but ambiance, the general idea of having speakers, having good audio. I do like music on in the background. Music I find I really enhances my gameplay. For me, I find a TV show, even if I've watched it before, if I don't like it at all, fine. But if I like Gallivant, like I've tried Gallivant, I love Gallivant. Even if I'm rewatching it, I'm too distracted by wanting to see it over there. But yeah, so it's
no. Amber and I are the same. Like music really enhances our play.
Yeah. Fun fact, if you guys don't know, but there's a website, I believe. Honestly, it's a website, I don't think it's an app, where it specifically it's basically you enter the name of a board game, and there's user-suggested songs and playlists to go with that board game.
I did
That's
not know that.
cool. I did not know that.
I have to find it again. I've used it infrequently, and it has worked. Like, the Blood Rage list has a lot of good music for Blood Rage. But, like, it only
That's
works with
cool.
more popular games, I think. If you're trying to play Framework, it's not going to be a very long suggested list. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anything else? I have a whole list. I'm just going
Well,
round
aren't we
robin.
going? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go. So you guys did table and TV. I agree with both of those. I think those are both really solid options. My probably, like, in terms of just like how I would say, like, before I give mine, the one caveat I would give to Alex's, if it was the ultimate game room, I would specifically have a second table that is a circular table that would permanently host my Crokinole board.
This is
So,
Devin's ultimate game room
because
now.
it
We've shifted.
doesn't work well on a rectangular table if you're doing like doubles. So
Chat, by the way, has my back. It's Mellow Dice. That's what it is.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
But so my pick would be like outside of a TV and a table, like you guys already said. I would probably say that essential for me and how I like to host would be a wet bar. Like Amber and I like to make food. Like we make like meat or like cheese and fruit trays, or we'll do like baked brie and stuff like that. So like having a place to host the snacks rather than at the table, because I would prefer it not to be on the gaming table. Even if, I think a lot of like tables have like, oh, you can like keep a portion, like 1 or 2 planks, and that can hold food. I'd rather not do that. And I'd rather be able to like make drinks. So like I want to make drinks in the room that we're playing at, and I want to be able to like host the food that we've made in the room itself. So wet bar would be top tier for me.
Yeah, and I had on my list along with that is the idea of just general snacks and just food and drink basically. And whether either way, both for the location as well as having plates or napkins, whatever else you need, or even just choosing. Just by if you don't want certain types of food, like if you're not someone who wants Cheetos at your table, you have the opportunity to choose the kinds of snacks that you are comfortable having at your table. But for me, I'm going to mention one that's actually been mentioned like 4 or 5 times in chat that was so key on my list. It was right after game tables, the first thing, and it's one that both Meg and Devin know very well because they've asked for it many times, is good lighting. Good lighting makes such a difference in terms of the game. It's one of those things, and Chad already mentioned this, it's one of those things you don't even know you're missing until you realize how bad your previous setup was.
Alexa, enable Shark Week.
Enable Shark Week. That's the current lighting setup we have set up down here, and this is actually primarily thanks to Meg. I have a few areas I play games, but I play games down over here on this table, and I play games upstairs. And upstairs I have less control over the lighting, but because downstairs is a studio, I have like 14 different types of lighting that you can combine. And Meg found this combination of like the spotlight on, the LEDs on, but then everything else off that I don't use for anything else. But it's now the way I play games down here when I'm not filming and I'm just kind of hanging out. It's become my go-to mode where that's the way I best see the components. The room is well lit, but it's not lit onto the components in a way that makes it hard to see them. Yep. The filming lighting is a little trickier because we need extra lighting that does put a little bit of a shine on components, but we need the lighting.
Yeah, and like so full credit to you, Meg. We were playing and like we set up a game and we're sitting there and we're playing and I just go, I like lean forward. I'm like, and he goes, "Oh, do you need better lighting?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "It's really hard to see this right now." And he goes, "Meg set this up for me." And he's like, "Enable Shark Week." And I was like, "Oh, I was like, this is so much better."
Yeah, it really makes the room shine, and it's one of those things that like I know, but in general, but just having good lighting, and good lighting does not mean bright lighting. It means the right ambience, enough light in the room that you can see things, not so much that it's overpowering, in the right angle so it's not reflecting off components. Past the game table, the first thing I would say, honestly, even before a game table, start with a all play, little cheap little $60 mat to make your surface better, and then get good lighting so that it enhances the gameplay experience because it's the kind of thing you can do with a very reasonable amount of money spent and just giving yourself a much better ambiance and visibility on the table.
I didn't know that you use shark mode without me. I thought because I always put it on when I do it, I didn't know it was getting other use.
It's now my go-to mode for when I'm playing games on here. Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, you set it up. Yeah.
Because lighting is a big deal at my house that, Alex, even other rooms, like my office, I have lit a very certain way that, like, for me, lighting at any point, I'm a very light-focused person that I hate overhead lighting for almost anything. So that's a very good call. Going back to what you guys said before, a mini fridge. I was going to say, when you were saying the wet bar and the thing, one of the things I thought was a mini fridge that I think that would be very important. But something that I really love having for game rooms as well, which like could be 50-50 depending on how nice your game table is side tables that you can set up. That especially if like we're playing games like D&D, to have somewhere to put your food that's separate to the side of you and not anywhere near the table. I regularly love to use side tables, even like if you're playing something like Gloomhaven, to hold all the books. That way they're just, together to the side. I like them a lot.
Nice. So just like the right furniture, and like going off of furniture for me, this may sound stupid, but I want games in the game room.
It's so funny because my next one was games, and I was prepping for the way I'm going to say this sounds stupid.
Yeah, it sounds stupid, but like right now, this is my office. This hosts all of the board games in the house. And across the house is the dining room, and the dining room doesn't have games unless I physically take them there. And like it like as someone like with kids, and like dinner / bedtime is like a 3 to 4 hour slot every single day of my life, and just simply the fact of having games that are like ready to go in the dining room, even if they're not set up, but like they're physically there and stuff like that, to where it's not like I have to go back and forth to be like, what do I want to play? Let me take those games over there. Oh, did I forget a game?
Now, Devin,
it sounds lazy. It sounds stupid, but
it's still a bit of a barrier if they're all in shrink.
That's fair. That is fair. I like to look at games, as you can see by the cover quiz that we played. I really just like to look at them. If we do anything about playing the components, I've never opened the games. I'll lose that one. But if it's just about the covers, I can do that. Yeah, so for me, just like having the games physically there, and this is kind of like a combination of having your games stored in the room and also like a game table that could keep stuff set up. And so, but yeah, it sounds stupid, but having access to the games to where you're not having to continually go across your house, that's a thing for me.
So I'll stick with my point on that one because it's a drop different than yours. Same idea though. It sounds stupid, but games. Although in my case it's less about the actual location, but more about being mindful of who you have over and being mindful of what types of games people prefer and having a good collection of games that accommodate the types of people you want to invite over at various game lengths, at various game weights, having just basically a good selection that is not all about you. I was actually just telling someone my rating scale what's he doing? He's cutting off a tag. For me, I was actually talking about my rating scale to somebody else recently. And it's one of those things that it's in every video, but it's the kind of thing you don't know. But when I have a 5-point rating scale, like, 3.5, a 4, 4.5, and all that. And many people don't know this, but if you actually look at the description, it tells you what those mean. To me, it's not an ambient number. Everything has a mental meaning to me, because otherwise, what is a 3.5? What is a 4? I have a mental way that I think about them. And one of the examples I was giving, though, is a 3.5 is often a game that I feel a bit sad that I'll never play it again, but I don't need to play it because I have better games. So there's an element of loss, but like, whatever, it is what it is. But I was telling them that most of the time, the games I keep are usually 4 and above, but there are often games I keep that are 3.5s, that are games that I think that they're the right fit for somebody else. I think they're the right fit for when we have this group of people or that group of people, or they're, if I specifically want something that plays well at 6 players but also plays in 20 minutes, I may not have a lot of games that are 4s or 4.5s, so I might keep a few other games that are lower ranks because I'm trying to make sure I can accommodate whatever's happening. Whether it's a bunch of heavy gamers who want a good filler for 20 minutes, whether it's a bunch of light gamers who've never played anything before, and there's specifically 4 of them, you kind of want to have a good selection of opportunities so that when you do have people finally there, sitting down, ready to play something, it's not you suggesting one thing and one thing only, rather you can give them a veritable smorgasbord of, here are a bunch of things I think are a good suggestion for the current people and desired playtime and desired game weight that we currently have.
Yarp.
Yarp indeed.
Yarp.
Yeah.
Agree.
What about you, Meg?
Again, this is silly, but it's 2-part, is the shelves. So first there's your bookshelves that for me, I have so many that are like a mess right now and you can't see all of the games, that being able to see everything so you know what you have and can play is super important. How they're stored is important. But also a shelf like this one behind me, I have one that's like big and long in my game room. And I have like all of my stuffed animals. If I have like some figures, the really big D&D figures I have on top of all my bookshelves. So also somewhere for like all your cute little swag things that don't actually go into a bookshelf. To keep them all. Stuffed animals are important.
So are giant dragons, painted dragons.
So are See, like, don't you want a shelf that displays those?
I do. I use my shelf behind me. It has all my... In fact, it has Devin's yin to Devin's yang with my little guy over here.
Aww.
Let me make noises for the next 7 minutes and see if it's distracting. Go, Devin. It's your turn. Yeah.
Okay.
I love you so much. You're my favorite person.
So the next one for me, going back to the idea of furniture, is I think what I would prefer is furniture that is for like lounging. Furniture that is for lounging, to where if people want to be in the game room but they don't want to be playing, that they can still hang out. Like one thing that like Amber and I are both, at the end of the day, we're both like introverts, and so what we do need time to like relax and enjoy space away, but we can also do that passively while we're in the same room with each other. So I like the idea of like if I'm playing a game with someone, or if I'm playing a game by myself or something like that, then I like Amber to be around. And so like extending that to the people who would come over, if there's a bunch of people there but some people don't want to play games, then I still want them around for like the social side of things, and I want them to feel involved, but I just don't want I don't want them to be in a separate space. So like if I play video games, sometimes Amber will come in and she'll sit near me, or sometimes one of us will watch something while the other one is reading on the couch, and I enjoy that. So yeah, furniture where people can be there but don't have to be playing if they don't want to.
Mhm. That is sweet.
Anyways, for me, the last one I have, and because a bunch of these have been covered by you, and if they've all been covered, I'm not really going to heavily go into them, but the last one I have is one that chat did mention. I believe Shani Marmor mentioned at one point, but it's basically good seating. Good seating to me is key. If you're going to have people sitting in your game room for hopefully a long time, playing a lot of games, ideally comfortable chairs are really the way you want to go here. Chairs that give you a degree of, like, hey, you're going to be here for 4 hours and it's worthwhile and it's like not something that's going to be painful. Like sometimes those $20 chairs from Costco are great. Other times, expensive chairs can cost a decent amount, meaning good quality chairs that are comfortable for a long time can cost a decent amount, but sometimes they're worth it. Paying $80 for a good sitting. Yeah.
That makes me think, my regular game chair in my game room or both of my tables have a blanket with them that I love, like fuzzy blankies like this. I have them everywhere. So I have one here at my desk, one in my back game room, and one in this middle room. And I love having, I buzzer again.
Yes, Meg, what's the answer?
It keeps happening. It keeps happening. It scares me. I love having blankies. They're nice.
Blankets are excellent. Good pillows and blankets. Being offered to
I
your guests.
actually have, if anyone's seen our Frosthaven playthroughs, I have a blanket at Alex's house to even have one when I'm playing games there.
That's
Is my
pretty
blanket
impressive.
still out, Alex?
That's
What?
impressive.
Is my blanket around?
No. Not anywhere close
Okay.
by. But yeah.
Okay.
But that's what I have. That's what I have as far as the list. Devin, you're next. You could also say I don't have any more ideas. Or you could say stuffed animals. Stuffed animals add ambiance to a game room. Oh, actually, I do have one more. Speaking of which, ambiance to a game room. Good general ambiance. We've talked about art, we've talked about games, but we haven't heavily talked about other things. I think that if you're going to have a game room, a proper game room, and you really want it to feel like a good game room, getting some of those like board game art things, like, where Root done with the style of whatever, like when you have some of those things, doesn't have to be from that. There's lots of things you can
Nothing
find
has sounded more compelling from a marketing standpoint than those things like Root done in the style of whatever.
Do you not know what I'm referring to?
I know exactly what you're
okay.
talking about.
There's a whole set of Board Game Geek
I'm just
art
saying,
prints
you really sold it.
where they have one game done in the art style of a different game. So Terraforming Mars will be done in the art style of, Zombicide. You'll have Root done in the art style of Vital Lacerda. Like, you'll have different mixing up of different types of art with different games, and then you have those on your walls as various art prints. And whether you do it from there or Etsy or anything, there's lots of opportunities for having a board game themed, or even just geek culture. It doesn't have to be a board game, just geek culture. You really want to make people feel at home in your game room, have it nicely set up. Don't have it just be wall-to-wall games. By the way, if you come to my game room in my basement here, it's wall-to-wall games. I'm sorry, that's what I do for a living. I don't have more space. But if you're looking for the ultimate game room, would have ideally would have a degree of games that are available, but also the sense of something nice, something pleasant. Once you have the good lighting, you have the good music, you want it to feel somewhere that you want to hang out. And going back to like Meg talking about the shelves and showing off stuffed animals and seeing just general geek culture around you, that can really help make people feel welcome in the game, feel like it's a place where it's cool and happy to be there.
Or
I
it
have
can
a
make
light
them feel
D20.
unwelcome.
You have a what, Meg?
I have a light that's a D20 that hangs from the ceiling.
Yeah. I think it works.
I would say, like, out of the people who come to my house, I feel like if I had a fully nerded out space, it would probably actually intimidate them more than make them feel welcome. Like, just in terms of, like, the frequency with which they're familiar with games, if I come out and, like, literally everything is something that's alien to them, then I'm not actually sure if that would actually
My last
feel
vote
welcome.
for the ultimate game room is get better friends. Sorry. No, in all seriousness, I think that would go to the point of... I think that would go more to the point of having the right games around. I agree with you, ultimately. Yeah, you do have to know your audience. But yeah. Yeah, and Robert, by the way,
Get
fun fact,
better
I
friends.
filmed a video yesterday where I go over the 365 games that I played that are new to me last year, and I give some of the highs and lows, and it's going to go up in a few weeks, I don't know exactly when, but I did do a speed run of reading through the 365 games I played. Very quickly.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Anyways.
So the last few things, because I just have like little swag type things, which is kind of like the board game culture type stuff. But I have a lot of special coasters. There's the Chip Theory coasters. There's the Laser Rocks coasters. I have D&D coasters that are also like wooden and engraved. I also have component trays that I love, and I have different kinds depending on what I'm playing and different colors. I have some that are cork, which are from IKEA that I think are like $1 for 4 of them.
How
And then
do
I have
not have component trays on my list? That's such
I
a
don't
good
know.
one.
So to me, that stuff is like folded into like the right gaming table. Like,
Mhm.
it's just the same category for me because I'm
Mhm.
like, it's got cup holders, it's got stuff that can, be component trays.
Yeah.
And then you also mentioned neoprene mats. So I kind of thought,
Yeah.
I mean, I fully agree. I think that component trays are super useful.
Mhm.
But sorry,
And if
I
we're
was
doing
trying
the
to talk
ultimate,
down Alex, but I feel like I talked down Meg. Meg, you talk. I was
it's
just trying to
fine.
tell Alex. To shut up.
If we're saying the ultimate game room, something that I still want that I have never purchased for myself, but if you have no budget and you can put whatever you want in your game room, it's $500. WizKids made a beholder replica that's like this big and it hangs from the ceiling. Everyone Google up what it looks like right now. They
like an
also have a
Isco ball?
mounted mind flayer head. What, Devin?
Is it like a light or is it just ornamentation?
Just ornamentation. It's like there's a beholder in your room, like it's coming to get you. It's coming out of the wall or something. But there's those, and then WizKids also sells. I don't know how much these are, but they sell. If you guys saw them at Gamma, those kobolds that are like 3 feet high, 2 or 3 feet high. They're selling those now. And oh man, I would buy a bunch of their oversized stuff for a game room.
It's now on the screen for those of you who want to see the WizKids Beholder.
I want it so badly. But
It's-
I've never been able to justify it.
terrifying.
George, before you say, like, oh, actually, already said the price. It's like $500. Like $450,
Yeah.
something like that. It's a little intense.
Yeah. That's a lot.
Dude, at the end of the day, that's just like 5 more, Final Girl Fridays.
Yeah. But yeah. Anything else? Any last?
Alex, I just realized the stack of plushies behind you.
Isn't it cool?
You
didn't
just
notice you
realized that?
stacked
He did,
them.
he did
Yeah.
a good job with them.
I was very impressed with this one. The first one's easy because small on top of larger, but getting the second Flamecraft plushie on top of the first Flamecraft plushie, I was proud of that.
Do you
It's
guys
like a
think that I
plushie
could get-
centipede.
Do you think that I could get my plushie directly through the gaff?
Of what?
Yeah.
Like throwing it?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Are you going behind your head?
Do it. Oh no, you can't do it backwards.
Oh, it's almost perfect. It was almost so perfect. It also
You
actually
knocked
fell.
something over.
Yeah.
I know it's fine. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
Anyways,
That was
with
almost
that,
perfect.
with
That was-
that, honestly, by the way, other activities, not the worst thing to have in your ultimate game room. A dartboard, some other things to do,
Yeah.
ways to keep people entertained with different types of games that have a degree of dexterity to them, like Crokinole that Devin mentioned, but other things for people like Meg who don't like Crokinole. So having that degree of extra dexterity challenge going on, and just giving people fun things to do. But yeah, with that, I think we're going to go ahead and close up the weekly live show. We've done a game show. We've done our favorite games. Dude Imperfect. That's funny. You're Dude Imperfect.
That was hilarious. I just sat down to that comment. That's amazing.
We're going to go ahead and wrap up the weekly live. Later today, there'll be an unboxing of Teneris Adventures if you want to check that out. A whole bunch of fun miniatures and things you can check that out. Past that, we'll be back next week with our regular weekly live. Also, special thanks to all of you for being here, because I know that Dice Tower is doing their like top 100, and so that's like another like big thing that people tune in for every week. So all of you are here instead of there. Don't get me wrong, I support the Dice Tower and I like them a lot, and I recommend checking them out in
Ooh.
general. But thank you for choosing us this week. What's
Alex,
up, Meg?
Jenna said you never brought up your Ember mug.
Oh, I did. I did not pick up my Ember Mug. I'm sorry. You said Ember Mug, I crossed it off my list. Yes,
Yeah.
Ember Mug. In general, I think an Ember Mug, or I think there's various, what's it called? I think I have that under my snacks, I know what's it called. But I am a huge fan of Ember Mugs. To the point that I've given Devin Meg one. I've bought someone for like someone on our Discord. I've generally been talking them up as much as possible. I have coffee for an hour straight. That's what I do. I have coffee for an hour straight. I don't have coffee for like 10 minutes. I don't have coffee for 20 minutes. I have coffee for an hour straight, and it's the same heat the entire time. It improves my general experience of coffee so much.
From my interpretation,
coffee for an hour
it
straight.
sounded like you
I'm
said you were
fine.
actively drinking more than one cup of coffee for
No.
an hour straight.
No, it's one
That's
cup
what
of
it sounded
coffee
like
that
to me.
lasts an hour. My coffee
I
used to
love-
last 20 minutes because I want it to be hot. Now
This
it's
is
an
the
hour.
distinction. This is the distinction between me and you, Alex.
The only
And
one.
I love this. Yeah, just one.
Just one.
Is that you are the kind of person who you're so focused and your brain is like so on target that you're like, oh no, I am intentionally waiting a full hour and I'm going to drink it slowly and enjoy it at the same temperature. And I forget I have tea or coffee for like 2 hours, and then I can come back to one that's warm. So it's like I drink for as long or longer than you, but it's not intentional. I just don't remember.
So I don't
And
pace
then
it out
I'm like,
in an
oh,
intentional
I
fashion.
need to heat it back up because it's been 3 hours and the tea is still there.
No, so in the past, when I drank my coffee, I like my coffee hot, and so I would drink my coffee in around a 20-30 minute range while it's still hot, and even then it would be less good towards the end of it. Through the process of having an Ember mug, what I thought would happen is I thought the half an hour would simply be a better half an hour, but that's not what happened. I found that once the coffee was hot, naturally speaking, I ended up consuming it at a slower rate just because it was hot the whole time. It's that an hour is how long it takes me to have a coffee. I was just accelerating the process so that it wasn't cold. But now life's amazing. Life's good now. Everything is going to be... You're de-shrinking Everdell? No, we're ending stream. No one can see this.